Hello staff, hello students, welcome back to Chef Mel's Kitchen. So this week, which is May the 11th to May the 17th, is National Vegetarian Week. And in reflection of that, not only will I be making a vegetarian recipe today, because most of the recipes on my YouTube channel are vegetarian, but I'm going to go another step further and I'm going to produce a vegan recipe today. It's in connection to what my students are learning at the moment, because actually this week I set them a task where they had to run their own vegan restaurant and they had to come up with a menu and explain what a vegan was. But as well as also this is a recipe for Kate, who's one of my colleagues who used to work with us at Wiltshire College, and she's a very proud vegan and wants to sort of encourage that cause. And my parents are vegetarian, so I grew up being veggie. I am a meat eater now, being a chef and everything, but I'm still very pro-veggie. I think vegetarianism and veganism is a very, very healthy way to live, especially if you do it properly with what you eat. And I think vegan and vegetarian food can be delicious. And I think it's the way you use herbs and spices and natural ingredients is the way to go with that. So today I'm going to be making something called spaghetti puttanesca, which is a classic Italian dish. It's sort of spaghetti with a tomato, olive and caper sauce, bit of spice in there, bit of chilli. Traditionally it would be with anchovies, but I'm using a couple of other ingredients instead to make it vegan. And another little nice trick that I'm adding to this is, with the spaghetti puttanesca, I'm going to be serving vegan garlic bread as well, and a long shelf life version of that. So I'm going to go through the ingredients now, but yeah, such a yummy dish. Quite a few ingredients today, but only 2 of them are fresh. The rest are long shelf life. So the 2 fresh items you need will be 2 cloves of garlic and some fresh parsley. Some of the fresh parsley will go into the garlic vegan butter and some of the parsley will go into the sauce. The rest are store cupboard. And some of you might say, hey, wait a minute, Mel, little mini baguettes, they're not store cupboard, they only last a couple of days. Ha ha ha. But you see, I've got a little trick. So I used these part-baked patty, they're called patty pans. That's probably a rubbish pronunciation, but these are long shelf life. You buy them in the bread section, but normally their shelf life is about a couple of months. And basically they're kind of raw when you get them, and then you just bake them in the oven. I've already pre-baked these 4. They come in packs of 6, but I've pre-baked these 4 as the packet instructions say, which I think is 220 for 10 minutes. And I'm going to turn these into garlic bread later, which I'll show you. For the garlic bread, you'll need, this recipe serves 4 generously, I might add, so you could probably squeeze 5 to be fair, depending on appetite. So you've got 4 little mini petit pans. You will need 80 grams of pure or any type of vegan margarine. You can't use butter because vegans can't have butter. 80 grams of this. With 2 cloves of garlic, which we'll finely chop, and about a tablespoon of parsley, bit of salt and pepper. That'll make garlic butter, which we'll put onto the baguettes. And now we go on to the pasta. Now, good old spaghetti. You don't have to use spaghetti, because I know pasta shapes are it's a bit weird, when you go to the shops, what pasta you can get. My favourite is spaghetti, and traditionally puttanesca is made with spaghetti, but if you want to use any other pasta shape, that's fine with me. We'll have crushed chilies. I'm only going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of this because I want the taste of chilies, but I don't want it too hot. But if you prefer it spicy, feel free to add more. I'm going to use half a tin of chopped tomatoes, as well as a whole jar, I think 700 gram jar of passata. I like to use a mixture of both because I like the smoothness of the passata, but I also like a few chunks of tomatoes in there as well. These are pimento, which is a posh word for pepper. These are pimento stuffed olives. I'm going to use this whole jar in there because I love these. These are so nice, and that's going to be the main flavour. And then half a jar of Kalamata olives. Kalamata, I believe, is a region in Greece. I know Kalamata are Greek olives, so they're sort of purple coloured. They're really delicious. Then they don't taste like black olives. They don't taste like green olives. They're sort of an in-between sort of flavour, but I love Kalamata olives, so those go in there as well. I've got capers as well, which actually a lot of people don't realise what capers are, but capers are actually little flower buds. They're pickled flower buds, which a lot of people don't know. I'm going to actually add these right on at the end. I would normally add them into the sauce, but someone I'm feeding tonight is not a huge fan of them, so I figure if I put capers on at the end for me and my dad who like capers, then I can leave the capers out for my mum who doesn't like them. I'll just go 1 stock cube. I'm going to add a bit of stock to it. some dried mixed herbs and bay leaves, and that's going to go in with the sauce ingredients. And this is my secret well, not so secret because I'm filming it, my secret sort of vegan go-to ingredient. Now, as I said, Puttanesca normally has anchovies in it. Now, when I make this vegetarian, I don't add anchovies because I don't like them. So I add Worcester sauce instead, which is, Worcester sauce has got anchovies in it. So you still get the flavour, but it not being so fishy. But as Worcester sauce has anchovies in it, that isn't vegan. I looked into vegan alternatives to Worcester sauce and came up with this Hendersons relish, which apparently, I've never tried it, so we'll see how it is. But Hendersons relish is supposed to be similar to Worcester sauce, but it's incredibly popular up north. I think yeah, Hendersons relish. It's been in Sheffield, sorry. Hugely popular in Sheffield, and they say it's a lot better than Worcester sauce, so we'll be adding a tablespoon of that. So that's all the ingredients you need, and I'll go through the method now. Cut the petit pans on an angle down the edge so that you get 2 pieces like that. Cut them all that and put that on a baking tray. To the pure margarine, which should be softened either at room temperature or you can soften it in the microwave, add 2 very finely chopped cloves of garlic and about 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley. Pinch of salt and a bit of pepper. And then you just need, another tablespoon, you then need to just mix it well until everything's really nicely combined into a garlic butter, really, or a garlic fake butter anyway. A little bit difficult to show you one-handed, but the basic principle is you get bits of the garlic butter, you put it onto the baguette, the pan baguette, and then you spread the butter over. Obviously pick up the baguette in your hand and then you can spread the butter evenly until it's all covered, and just do that equally for each 8. So those are all ready to go in the oven, but before we put them in the oven we need to turn our attention to the sauce. This bit of the recipe is ridiculously easy because basically it just involves putting all the sauce ingredients in a pan and boiling the water. So get a really biggest you have, large pan of water and put that on the boil. And you're just going to put all the ingredients in to your other saucepan. So I've got 700 grams, oh it's really thick this passata, 700 grams jar of passata. I've got half a tin of tomatoes. I've got my Kalamata olives, my green stuffed olives and my parsley. I've halved the olives. That goes in that. I've got 200 millilitres of vegetable stock that I've made with 1 stock cube. I've got my tablespoon of Hendersons relish. And here I've got a 1/4 teaspoon chilli flakes, 2 teaspoons of dried mixed herbs and a bay leaf. And I'm just going to put that, again, on a high heat. This is going to cook for 25 minutes. And hopefully by that time, the pasta will be done if the timings go nicely together. Once your water is boiling, add 500 grams of spaghetti or whatever pasta shape you're using and cook that for whatever the packet says. So this one says 10 to 12 minutes, so I'll cook it for 11 minutes. Meanwhile, get a grill onto high heat and then 5 minutes before everything's ready, put your garlic bread in. It takes about 5 minutes to grill to get nice and crispy, but keep your eye on it because the garlic bread cooks really quickly. I've drained the spaghetti and put it back into the large pan, and then I'm going to add my Puttanesca sauce right into there. Shake the pan, yeah, make sure I get all that sauce, and then I'm just going to stir that in until the pasta is completely coated in that beautiful, beautiful Puttanesca sauce. The Italians will always coat the pasta in the sauce, then plate. They never put just plain pasta and then the sauce on top. That's something the English people do that the Italians get very angry about. Once it's nicely mixed, check the seasoning, and then you're ready to plate. Doesn't that look lovely? I'm just going to finish that off with the garnishes, with the finishing touches. So I'm just going to put, I'll tidy it up in a little bit. I'm just going to finish it off with these capers, with these pickled flower buds. I'll make it look a bit prettier in a minute. And then also just with a sprinkling, about a tablespoon I would say. Well, teaspoon, but a tablespoon in full for 4 of you. A tablespoon of fresh parsley, and I haven't forgotten, don't you worry, I've got my vegan garlic bread. Aren't they cute? There you go. So, don't like that caper there. Oh, pretty. Right, and that is vegan spaghetti Puttanesca with vegan garlic bread.